Good morning and welcome back to Questioning Sense with me, Matt. Hope you guys are well. Hope you've had a good weekend. It's Monday morning and I've got a day off, but a lot to do. So I thought I'd get on with a quick video, a long awaited video actually. This is a video I've been looking forward to making for a long time. And today I finally get to do it. Now, the crux of this, I mean, basically it's cold, wet, gloomy day, so perfect day to really appreciate one of my brighter perfumes. And it's a very new perfume to me, and it's a very new perfume to everybody. In fact, it's only just came out. So I think it was Friday, I had a knock at the door and a parcel arrived, and I was extremely excited to see this in it. And this is Hudson's 003, the new one. Now, I've been long been championing Hudson's. There's a couple of reasons for this. Firstly, the first one that they did, 001, I loved. And then 002, I also loved very much. But it's a little bit more than that. Hudson's are originally was a gentleman's barbers, and they're based in Ware in Hertfordshire. And the main man behind it all, Dan, actually comes from my hometown. So, you know, Hertfordshire hasn't really set the world of perfume on fire, as it were. So, and obviously they're a small business as well. So it's always good to kind of support a local business. Now, before we get any further, Dan has sent this to me for nothing. He knows I'm a big fan and he wanted me to get hold of this. So I think this is probably the first bottle that I actually shipped. So that's really, really good of them and I appreciate it very much. But trust me, if I didn't like it, I would be happy to tell you that. So the fact I got it for nout doesn't really make any difference to me whatsoever. It's an interesting perfume. And what we're going to do is, I've only had it since Friday. So I've worn it on Friday when it arrived, very eagerly, sprayed it everywhere. And I wore it Saturday evening, wore it Sunday evening, and today it's Monday. And I'm wearing it today. I've just done the school run. Obviously everyone was in masks. So yeah, if you were fishing for compliments, now's not the right time to be doing it because most people can only smell their masks. So what we'll do now, I'm going to spray a little bit more for the purposes of the review. As I say, I'm wearing it, but we'll give it another go. And then we'll have a little chat about the notes, the presentation, and what I think it's like and whether it's going to be a good one for you guys. So bear with me 1 second and we will get into it. Before we actually get into it, let's have a look at the presentation. Obviously, this is the presentation that originally came out. Now, a lot of people obviously didn't like this. I didn't think it was the best, but I didn't think it was bad because these look like they're plastic, but they're not. They're actually glass bottles. So I think, you know, Hudson's realised they needed to up their game a little bit on the presentation front. So they opted for this style bottle now. With a fairly lightweight cap. It's a glass bottle, obviously it's a square glass bottle with a very minimalistic plain label on it. I like it. I think the presentation is excellent. These are by the way, these are 100ml bottles and you know, they're very, very heavy. You know, they're a good bottle. They remind me quite a bit of sort of 8 and Bob, you know, that style of presentation, which I think is it's really, really in keeping. I don't know whether the fact that they come from, you know, sort of the background of a barber's, if that's had any influence on it or not, I'm not entirely sure. But this is the sort of thing that I would associate with a traditional barber's. Now, 003 has only just come out. It's on release now, so you can get it. And one thing I will say about Hudson's is they really are cheap in terms of cost. In fact, I think they're way, way underpriced. Me personally, I think they could charge a lot more for it. But we know all that. So let's talk about 03. So 03 is, I don't know, it sits well with the other two, and I think what Hudson's have done very, very well, they've ignored or they've not taken the opportunity to run away and do something completely different. This smells very much like a Hudson's fragrance. They've managed to capture the DNA, and they've used some similar notes that you'll find in the other two, but it is a very different fragrance. So if we look at the notes now, you'll get more of an idea of where I'm going with it. So at the top you have bergamot and grapefruit. Now grapefruit was used to great effect in 002, so it's a note that they're familiar to, you know, working with, and it works well. So as I say, at the top you have bergamot and you have grapefruit. Then in the middle you have violet leaf, soft spices, and a jasmine accord. And then on the base you have amber, a soft leather, and dark musk. Now I can be completely honest and say my heart sank a little bit when I saw violet leaf was going to be in the perfume, because it's not one of my favourite notes. And purely for a selfish perspective, I don't really enjoy perfumes with too much violet or too much violet leaf in it. And I was pleased to say that although the violet is prominent with this one, it doesn't. It smells good to me. I can wear this one quite happily. I don't find it offensive. I don't get annoyed by it. It works very well. When you spray it though, first thing you'll notice is this citrus charge. The bergamot and the grapefruit just come in and go mad and just sit on your skin, and it does give the perfume a very fresh opening. As it develops, you'll notice to be fair, you'll notice the violet leaf straight away. But because of the fruits, the citrus fruits, it's juicy, it's unctuous, it's very much there. And I love this sort of floral citrus kind of vibe that you get. But what happens is with these soft spices, which I don't know what they are, to be honest, they come in, the jasmine accord. It's not an indolic jasmine either. It's not a skanky jasmine. It's a floral, sweet jasmine. The whole perfume is quite sweet, but not overly so. And when you think grapefruit can be quite bitter, they've kind of balanced that out. So you do have a little bit of bitterness, a lot of sweetness, and it all meets in the middle to find a very level playing field. So nothing, you know, it's never going to be a cloying one or anything like that. What you'll notice though is it is in the world of the citrus freshie, but because the middle and the base notes are a lot heavier, it changes. So you've got a perfume that can be worn well in heat and well in cold. It's an all season, all round jobby. So that is excellent. And it smells rather lovely. I like it when it starts to turn and the darker and the heavier notes become more prominent, because as they clash together, you've got this almost like velvety, it just feels very smooth, very velvet-like on your skin. It's lovely. And then the soft leather comes in, but this is sort of married with the ambery notes. And what I personally get is, because it's such a soft leather, it's almost suede-like, which again gives it more of a texture. You know, it smells like a texture, which I really enjoy. There's quite a few perfumes do that, and this one does it really, really well. And then obviously you have a dark musk, which just kind of wraps everything up nicely. When I was sort of first trying this out, I was speaking to Dan at Hudsons because I was sure I could pick up some oud in a dry down. And it's not a listed note, and I wanted to confirm it. So I went back to Dan and said, look, is there a little bit of oud in here? And he said, yeah, there is. So there is a tiny bit of oud that comes into the dry down, which I think is there just to beef up the musk and make it a little bit more rounded, I suppose. But it works well. And don't worry, if you've got a problem with oud, you really have to look for it. It's not one that it's not an oudy fragrance. You would never put this down as an oudy fragrance. There's just, I've been smelling a lot of oud lately, and I was smelling a lot of, wearing a lot of oudy perfumes. And there was just something in there that made me think there's a bit of oud in here. And I was right. So that's always good. But it just becomes very, very polished. Now, I know I'm using words like velvet and polished at the same time, and you cannot polish velvet. So what I'm saying is the perfume comes across as a very polished or accomplished perfume, and the velvetiness is definitely there as it dries down. It's a great, great fragrance. I love this. I probably think the 01 is going to be my favourite from the collection so far, purely because it just blew me away when I first smelt it. 02 I really enjoy, but 03 is such a welcome member of this family of fragrances. It's a really good one, and I think it's one that's going to do well for them because it's unchallenging. Now, it's sweet and it's enjoyable, so therefore it's going to be quite mass appealing. It's not a challenging fragrance. There's nothing in here that's going to like, none of the notes are too spiky or anything like that. So that's good. My wife really likes it as well, which again is quite rare. So when I was sort of spraying it, she's like, oh, blimey, that smells nice. And, that's always nice to get a compliment, especially from, someone who lives with me and knows what I'm like. And she has to put up with an awful lot of funny smells, and not only just perfume. Huzzah! So, for my wife to like it is always a good sign. Now, I think it's quite masculine leaning, but again, it's probably going to be classed as a unisex fragrance. I think anyone can wear it. And age-wise, it's probably more for the more mature fragrance enthusiast. It's probably not screechy enough for some of the thrusters out there, but I do feel that a thruster can enjoy it as well, to be honest. It's not, you know, it's a bit of a timeless one. Anyone can really, you know, anyone can really wear this. And as I mentioned earlier in the review, because of the freshness of the opening, this can be worn all year round. I think it'll be devastatingly good in the summer, or especially on a summer's evening, actually, when you're looking for something, you know, if you're going out on a summer's evening and you're going out for a meal, or you're going out with your friends or whatever, you know, it's still quite warm at that point of the evening, but as you know, the night will come in and, you know, everything will get colder. It'll be the perfect perfume for that, because of the freshness in the opening. That will, you know, sort of energize you and make you feel clean and fresh and lovely. And as your evening, you know, unfolds, the perfume does exactly that, and it gets darker, and it will suit the sort of, you know, the sun going down and the darkness coming. It'll be perfect for that. But saying that, you know, it's cold today. It is really cold. There's something quite crisp about the freshness of this, and that grapefruit bergamot combination just, I don't know, cuts through the cold. It's lovely. And then, you know, as you warm up, it kind of cools down. So you get that sort of crossover, which works very well in winter. So yeah, you can wear it all year round. I think it'll be a great work scent, and a really nice one to go out in. I think this dresses up very well. So it's certainly going to be one for, you know, a special occasion or a big night out. And that's kind of it, really. Performance is good. It lasts. I mean, they all last very, very long. The opening projection is quite strong. It is quite loud when you first spray it, so it kind of goes everywhere. But after an hour or so, it does drop off to become quite close to your skin. Not a skin scent. I've noticed when wearing it that you get little wafts of it coming up, and, you know, depending on how you apply your perfume, I seem to spray quite a lot on my chest. And as my day was going on, you get little plumes of it coming up. So you're picking up on it for the entire day. It's at its best, I think, for the first 5 or 6 hours when it's really, really noticeable. And then it does drop off to become quite soft, but very, very long lasting. So if you were wearing it for work, it would get you through a day at work without any drama, although it will be quite soft when you're on your way home, which is good enough for work, and it's good enough for me. So I haven't got any gripes with performance. I think it's a solid performer, good sillage, good projection, especially, as I say, in the first few hours, and then, you know, as I say, it calms down. Really easy fragrance to wear, and basically because of the you know, I think this is £40 for 100 ml. It's just a bit of a no-brainer. You're not going to get many fragrances that smell this good for that money. So yeah, I think they've done an excellent job with this one. It's a good addition to the collection, and I'm really happy to have it. I think it's one that I'm going to wear more and more and more as time goes by, because it's quite an addictive fragrance. You miss it when it's gone, and when it dries down, I really love that sort of soft, suede-y, velvety vibe to it. There's always a hint of freshness though. The top notes don't disappear. The other notes catch up with it. So, you know, it's still got that little bit of sharpness. It's still got that little bit of freshness at the top, but all the heavier and, as I say, darker notes kind of catch up with it and give it a more of an accomplished feel. So I think Hudsons have done very, very well there. Now, they do a 15ml bottle if you don't want to take the plunge and buy the 100ml. 15ml bottles is always a great way to start. You know, 15ml does last for quite a while. And obviously, if you know, when you finished it, then you can go in for your 100ml. If you've had a perfume, you've had 15ml of a perfume and you've worn it, you know, that's a lot of wearings. So you'll know at the end of that 15ml whether you're going to want this perfume or not. So I would always recommend getting the 15ml. If you like the other two, you're going to love this. So just get the 100. It does in some respect feel like it sits between the two. So you could technically have one, then three, then two. It sort of sits in the middle ground. Although, as I say, it doesn't smell like the other two. It's certainly recognisable as a Hudson's. They've done a very good job of keeping that sort of DNA obvious for the wearer. So there you have it. My take on Hudson's 003. A very, very good perfume. I will probably come back and review it again after I've had it a longer time, because, as I say, I think it's going to be ideal in the summer weather, and I'd like to give it a good wearing in the summer, and then maybe do another review of it again when if I've been away, or, you know, I've worn it in a warmer environment where I think it will shine. But for now, in the winter, this is a great frag, so I'm very happy to have it. So thank you very much for Hudson's. If you have tried it, let us know, you know, how you got on with it and what you think of it, or, you know, if you want to chat about Hudson's in general, then please hit us up. Listen, guys, thank you very much for your time. I'm going to be doing a video tomorrow to announce the winner of the giveaway that we did with Ubase. So that's all been sorted out, and that will be on Instagram as well. And I'm going to do, as I say, I'll do a video tomorrow and announce the winner. So listen, guys, thank you very much for your time. It's always a pleasure to make these videos. Me and Rich love doing it, and we hope you're enjoying watching them. So That's it. Cheers, thanks, and bye.